LinkedIn is pretty great at a lot of things, like helping you tap into the latest trends and insights in your field. We cannot stop your coworker from tapping her pencil. LinkedIn can help you find new jobs that align with your career goals. We cannot help you find the source of that weird smell in the office fridge. Ew. And while we can't stop your coworkers from bringing their hobbies into the office, LinkedIn can help you bring your career to the next level. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Pier 54, a General Hospital fan podcast for the weekly recap of Monday, February 23rd through Friday, February 27th. Hopefully you can tell that wasn't Shannon there. We have Ryan guest co-hosting with me this week because Shannon has abandoned me for a work/romantic vacation, and so you are stuck with the two of us this week. We're not going to do the Port Charles pipeline since Shan's not here. We will just roll right in to our Hulu headlines. So on Monday, we have Maxie is overwhelmed, Michael's temper flares, Dante makes a promise, Alexis is skeptical, Gio and Jocelyn discuss Emma, and then on Tuesday, Sunny confides in Rick, Cullum questions Jason, Lulu is hesitant, Jordan issues a warning, Lucas gains valuable information, and on Wednesday, Britt and Jason weigh their options, Chase ponders a difficult choice, Dante seeks out Elizabeth, Cody encourages Molly, Gio gets good news. And Thursday, Laura calls a press conference, Isaiah visits Trina, Jason debriefs with Sunny, Sidwell plays hardball, Alexis is thrown. And then on Friday, Willow makes a vow, Obrecht seeks Britt's help, Lucy has some explaining to do, and Laura holds back. Lucas wants answers. All right, Ryan, so since you know you love GH and watch it every week, I'm sure you knew who all these people were and have no questions whatsoever. So where do you want to get started at?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I knew exactly what was going on. I'm pretty sure that I said the entire time that I was watching this, I have no idea what these people are talking about right now. So this was eye-opening. I guess the first thing, well, the biggest thing of the week, the one that at least they talked the most about was Britt and this crime boss, Sidwell.
Yeah.
And how Britt is working on some kind of a medication maybe or something for this crime syndicate.
So it's not a medication, but we're not sure what he's going to do with it. It is cold fusion. And it is such a powerful thing that it would be dangerous for him to have that amount of power at his hands. But it goes back to Britt's father.
Okay.
You've heard JD's obsession with Cesar Faison?
Yes.
That is Britt's dad.
Got that. Okay.
So he started this research and then he was killed before he could continue it. I cannot talk this week. Sorry, people. Before he could continue it. And so they are making Britt finish the work. And she does not want to do that because she knows her dad was evil. So they are withholding her medication because she has Huntington's disease. And so they are withholding her medication that keeps her functioning so that she will do what they want to do.
Yeah, it just seemed to be like a focal point throughout the whole week.
It's definitely a focal point because last week, Lucas, who is Sidwell's son's boyfriend,
Yeah.
Sidwell's the bald guy
Yeah.
that just talks creepy. Sidwell's son, Marco, is an attorney and he's supposed to be on the up and up, but he's not 100% on the up and up because he's working for Sidwell. So Lucas was shocked last week when he found out that Marco is aware of all the bad things that Sidwell is forcing Britt to do. And so this week we saw Lucas go to Britt and say, hey, I overheard some information. Just want to know what's going on. How can I help? And now Lucas is determined to get a sample of the medication so that they can reverse engineer it. And then she will not be under Sidwell's thumb anymore,
Yep.
which is an idea that Jason actually had a few weeks ago because originally Britt was given like weekly doses of her medication
Yes.
so she could administer it herself. But once they realized that she wasn't doing what they wanted her to do, mostly interacting with Jason because they don't want Jason to help her get saved from all this, they changed it to now she can only get 1 dose a day and it's done at their house so that she has to go there and do what she's supposed to do.
I'm surprised that Sidwell even really wants Jason involved because doesn't Jason have some affiliation with Sonny?
Yes.
And they seem to be both crime mobs.
Yeah.
I would imagine that they maybe work together, but probably don't.
So they don't work together because they're rivals. He doesn't want Sonny involved, but Marco especially doesn't want Sonny involved because he blames Sonny for his mother's death, which it really wasn't Sonny's fault, but that happened months ago. Marco thinks that Sonny did have something to do with it. So that's why Marco has such a vengeance against Sonny. And that's why when we move into the storyline of Willow becoming Congresswoman this week, that's why it's so important is they're going to have Willow rule against Sonny, like bring up Sonny's past and try to get him convicted.
I got that by the end of the week. I don't like Willow either, but we can get into that.
Why don't you like Willow? She's a lovely young lady.
Yeah, she seems like a very caring individual. She's really taking care of her man well. Keeping him heavily sedated.
I was gonna say, I promise, if you are ever sick, I will take just as good a care of you as Willow does of Drew.
I'm glad that that's being recorded, so all your listeners can hopefully look out for me in the future.
So Willow, you know that Willow shot Drew.
Yeah, no? Didn't know that.
Okay, so remember a few months ago, Drew got shot. They thought that it was Michael, but then they thought, no, wait, it was Willow. So Willow was just on trial for that. She got off because they found her not guilty. And then they were home like less than a day, and she injected him in the neck with this medication that we found out this week Sidwell is providing to her so that it makes it look like you have had a stroke. Like that's what your body's reaction. If she'd stopped giving him that medicine, he would get better. But she's not going to stop giving him that medicine because she wants him to be in a stroke.
Especially now she's got his power.
That's right.
See, I'm getting it. I got it.
You're good. You're good.
So you want to talk about Monday? Because, I like to do things in chronological order.
Sure, go ahead.
So it really, it started with, Sonny and his son, Gio?
Sonny's grandson.
Grandson, that's what I mean. Yep,
Good job. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they were talking about this girl that Gio is all worked up about. Emma,
good job. Mm-hmm.
Look at that. And I thought that was going to end up being like a big thing, and it really didn't carry too much on into the week other than the one episode. But why is it every time Sonny talks, even when to his grandson, it just seems like he's got this like, I got power over you all the time? Is that just like is that how he always is with everyone?
This is how Sonny is. You have to respect the man. It's Sonny.
I get that, but that's his grandson. Like at some point, like
When he's talking to his grandson, it's more respect me because I'm your grandfather. And they have a complicated relationship because Gio didn't know that Sonny was his grandfather until a few months ago. I guess it's been almost a year now. And so he knew him as Uncle Sonny. And now in this past almost year, he's getting to know him as Grandpa Sonny. And so their relationship is kind of back and forth with that. But Sonny is not really commanding of Geo.
Okay.
It's the fact that although he was Uncle Sonny, because he really didn't know that he was his grandpa, he was Uncle Sonny, he wanted to take really good care of him. So, like, he set him up with scholarships and to make sure that he had everything he needed in life. Geo's an amazing violin player and, like, is going to go far with that. And so Sonny made sure that he had everything he needed for that. And so that's why Geo talking to Sonny is like a thing. And Gio had been living with Sonny, but for the past few days, he's been living at Emma's house because Emma had to go to California to talk to her mom to tell her about her grandma being in a mental institution in France.
Okay. I did get some of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in
There's
these
a
scenes whenever
ton.
you
Yes.
don't follow it.
Right. So there's a ton going on with the Anna situation. They focused on that the past few weeks, so you wouldn't know about that. But Anna was the love of Faison's life, and that all links back together of Faison, Sidwell, and Cullum, the head of the WSB, are messing with Anna's head to make her think that Faison is still alive. Now, that's a back and forth thing. I think that Faison is dead. Shannon thinks that he is halfway alive,
What
and
does that mean?
she thinks that the guy Nathan that you can tell us about in a minute,
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about that.
she thinks that half of Nathan's brain is his own and the other half is his dad's.
What?
I know, she's a little crazy, but we
Is
won't.
this Frankenstein or General Hospital?
Right. I mean, nothing's too far fetched for GH, but that's what she thinks. And then JD just thinks that he is still alive, like as a whole person.
Well, that's because JD
So
loves it.
JD does love Faison. So, yeah, we're gonna see who is right in the predictions in the weeks to come. But for right now, that's why you were a little confused, was because Anna is off screen in France getting help. But Emma was upset because she had gone to see her mom, and Gio was upset because he was missing Emma and wanted to be with her. And then the big thing that happened this week between them was that Emma came back and Gio offered to move and to live with her. I made a note about where it was that they needed to move.
Wasn't it back to California?
Yeah, but I thought it was a little more
What, specific? Like a city?
specific.
Whew.
Berkeley. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Gio offered to move to Berkeley to be with Emma, and she said no. Her family agreed that she needed to stay there. And then they ended up saying that they love each other for
Yeah,
the
that was a
first
big
time.
deal, huh?
Yes, it was very cute. There's been a lot of build up behind the two of them getting together. So they have hooked up before, but they haven't been all
In
I
love.
love. So yeah, we got to see them show their love for each other this week. So that was sweet.
All right, so I'm going to go back to Monday,
Go ahead.
and we're going to talk about this Nathan character who just seemingly just reappeared. He was like dead for 7 years.
7 years.
They even like showed him in the hospital, like dying, like coding.
Mm-hmm.
What? Is this another one of those like people just die and then come back? We don't get an explanation as to how this happens?
Right, because you have to try to figure it out for yourself. So we're mad.
He coded.
Well, they had a full on, we're mad because they had a full on burial for him and he was a police officer. So they did the full on police burial. Like, it made us cry because Nathan died. Nathan and Maxie were an amazing couple. So it made us cry that Nathan died. And now here we are 7 years later, and he just magically reappears one day and no one knows how. So people keep speculating, like people on the internet, and then, Shannon and I obviously have our own ideas of either his dad is still alive and was holding him captive to do whatever he was doing with him, or other people that were part of Faison's organization kept him alive. And I'm not exactly sure what they would be doing with him, but either reprogrammed his brain or are just using his body to be completely different. Because Obrecht pointed out this week, whenever she went to see Britt, that Nathan was not acting like himself. Um he was giving up too easily on being with Maxie, and he wasn't. Oh, he snapped at Obrecht, who's his mom.
Okay.
He snapped at her, and he's usually like, whatever you want, mom, super nice and respectful to her. And so it was not in his normal nature to behave the way that he had been behaving. And so that is going to fuel everyone's thought process more of, is this really actually Nathan that just came back, or is this some dude that looks like Nathan? Like, how did they do what?
Okay. Well,
You didn't seem to like Nathan very much, though.
I didn't like the fact is later in the week, as we seen after Maxie told Nathan that she was going to stay with Spinelli.
Yes, that was the best thing
And I
ever.
was happy about it too, because I'm like, fellow IT guys, me and Spinelli, we got to stick together. It's hard out here in the streets for us IT guys.
Okay, I hope you're not doing the same stuff that Spinelli's doing, because you could get arrested any day now if you are.
No, I'm not gonna. No, okay, no, I don't work for a crime boss either that can get me out of all this stuff.
That is true.
I just liked how Spinelli was very, like, you seen him. I can't remember who he was talking to, but he was very, like, emotionally, like, distraught about the fact that he was almost certain that Maxie was going to we're going to go back with Nathan.
Yes.
Because Nathan's back.
Right. So he was talking to Brooklyn, who is one of their close friends, Maxie's close friends.
Okay.
And he was certain that she was going to end up saying that she needed to go back to Nathan and see how things were, because Nathan and her were amazing together back in the day. And Spinelli and her had been broken up for years. Their storyline's kind of actually like ours in a way. They were together whenever they were younger. He was like madly in love with her, and then she couldn't commit. And they ended up going their own separate ways from stuff that wasn't anything that would happen in the real world. It was all crazy soap stuff. And
it's not like us.
Yeah, that part's not like us. So he went off and had like his own separate life with a different girl, and she had her life with Nathan, and then she had Bailey Lou with Peter, and then she had grown and matured, and so had he, and he didn't want to be with that girl anymore, and she wasn't with anyone, and so it started out as like just a friendship that then they continued building on. Like, they had been co-parents before, but then they built on the friendship more and more, and ended up falling back in love and are together. So that's why Spinelli never had a high opinion of himself, because he is the geeky IT guy. And I'm sorry, but just going off of looks, like, you look at Nathan and you're like, hello. You look at Spinelli and you're like, oh, he's a nice guy. So
wow, that seems rough.
I'm sorry, that's the truth. Like, there aren't girls that you talk about the same way, please. But anyway, so Spinelli was assured in his own mind that she was going to go back to Nathan, and instead she had the conversation with Nathan at the cemetery about how she would always love him, and he said he would always love her, and major respect for the relationship they had had together, but that at the end she chooses Spinelli. And she went home and she was like, I talked to Nathan and I told him that I'll always love him. And Spinelli had that sad puppy dog look on his face, and then she was like, no, Spinelli, I love you, like, not out of obligation, but because I love you. You're my person. And then it showed them kiss. I kind of really wanted a love scene with them. Like, we got to see other people hooking up this weekend. I wanted to see Spinelli and Maxie.
Yeah, but the only other person we got to see hooking up was Gio and Emma.
Didn't Jason and Britt hook up?
Did they?
They saw each other. They usually
they
hook up
flashed
if they
back.
see each
I thought
other.
that was a flashback.
Oh, maybe it was a flashback.
Pretty sure that was a flashback.
I don't know. Either way, I wanted to see, like, not anything too sexy. Shannon and I say that all the time. Like, we can use our own imagination. But at least to see them led off to the bedroom or something would have been super sweet. After all this time of her being in the coma and then her finally being like, no, Spinelli, I choose you. It would have been nice. I would have been all there for it.
Well, I don't think I needed that. I was just happy to see Spinelli
Okay. So I'm
get the
sorry.
nod.
I interrupted you because I needed to fill in everyone on Maxie choosing him. So go ahead with your boy Nathan. What did he do next? Or your not boy Nathan, because you really did not like him. Every time he came on screen, you were grumbling.
Well, it's kind of skipping ahead though a little bit, but I'll skip ahead. I didn't like how as soon as like that was over, all of a sudden he seems to just be like going right to the next girl, which was Lulu.
Good job,
Yeah, and it's just like, wait a minute, man, you were gone for 7 years. You are trying to get back with the love of your life, and she's moved on, and now you're just instantly like, okay, cool. Let me get back with her best friend. That's kind of weird.
I mean, you men are pigs, but they did bond.
I don't subscribe to that.
Lulu was in a coma for years. And so her and Nathan have bonded over the past few weeks about being in
How many
coma.
people are in coma? Someone needs to go check on the water in Port Charles. There's something going on.
It just kind of happens, and then you wake up
high
and
fusion or whatever, cold fusion,
causing
comas.
no,
Here.
it doesn't. The cold fusion's not done yet. That's not what caused the comas. No. So since Lulu was in a coma and Nathan was in a coma, Nathan was upset that Maxie wasn't there because she was also in a coma.
See? Okay, you're not helping yourself at all. General coma.
So they bonded over what it was like to wake up and not know like what has happened in the past 2 years.
Okay. That's fine.
Shared experience, Ryan.
I don't understand. There's too many comas going on for me. All right, so that's why I didn't like. That's why I was like kind of like cringed with Nathan, because it's like, all right, man, you're just like going to the next thing, and it just so happens to be her best friend.
I didn't have a problem with the fact that he was interested in Lulu because he's been interested. Like, we've watched that build up over the past few weeks. My issue was that she already said to him, I have to think about it. I need to talk to Maxie. I'm not sure. Like, this is very complicated. And then he saw her again and was like, hey, so you've had a day or so. Have you made up your mind yet? Can we hook up now?
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, I guess we'll give it a try. But somebody has to tell Maxie which one of us. I just don't like Lulu, honestly. So
I'm getting that.
Never gonna.
We don't know who's gonna tell her yet. We didn't get to that.
Feel like he's gonna make her tell Maxie. 100%.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right. He
100%.
seems kind of like, I don't want to take that initiative.
I mean, I feel like they should go because Maxie and him have a kid together. That's James's dad. So I feel like Lulu and him should go together and sit down with Maxie and be like, hey, listen, if you don't want us to continue, we won't. But we kind of started having feelings for each other and see where it goes. But you're breaking girl code. You got to have a conversation.
And then the other thing Monday, since I'm going to go back to Monday, was, well, there was obviously, we found out that, what was it? Was it Michael got cleared or released from the custody because of the tampering of the evidence, which looks like Willow was definitely involved with that. And then there's a scuffle at the mansion there between Michael and Chase.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, we're gonna get some good fisticuffs going on. But
it was short lived. I'm sorry.
It was quick because Dante came in and broke it up real fast. I'm like, oh man. I thought we were gonna have a full-on war there,
Okay, so all of those people live in that house.
which is even more insane.
So
how are you gonna coexist now after that? Like, this isn't just some little petty thing. Like, oh man, he said, she said. Like, this is murder, right?
right, well, attempted murder.
Attempted murder, yeah.
So that's why Dante was quick to break it up. Was first of all, obviously fighting is not good, but fighting among people who live in the same house is extra not good. So you were asking me, I tried really hard, you guys, while he was watching, he was making comments, and then he would ask some questions, and I was like, no, you have to watch the whole week, and then you'll be able to piece some stuff together, and what you can't piece together, I will clarify then, but I can't comment because we need this authenticity to stay. So you had asked me, or you had made a comment that Chase was in on putting the key onto Michael's thing. So
Yes.
that's not true. Willow was meeting Michael for custody, and she had not seen her kids for months and months and months because she was on trial. And
Okay.
she wanted to make sure that she would have a way of eventually taking Michael down, especially if he wasn't fair with custody. So she put the key on whenever they met at the attorney's office to sign the paper. She put the key on his keychain. And Chase is, I don't know if he's still, so him and Willow were together for a while and were fake married for a while. So I don't know if he's like still in love with her deep down, because him and Brooklyn were an amazing love story that I think everyone agrees with me. We want them to stay together. So I don't know why Chase is being so stupid when it comes to Willow, and it makes me really angry because, dude, you need to be loyal to your wife. Quit being so invested in everything going on with Willow. And I mean, that's where Brooklyn was this week. She was like, you need to tell me the truth right now. What is your involvement? What are you doing? And she's finally seeing that he has these rose-colored glasses for Willow, and he just keeps trying to pin everything on Michael. And I 100% agree with her. If Willow was in jail being punished for a crime she didn't do, and they knew that Michael did it, then of course Chase should be pushing and trying to find the information to rectify that situation. But Willow's walking around, she was just appointed freaking congresswoman, and you're gonna continue pushing and pushing to find Michael guilty of something that he didn't do. And really all he's doing is making sure that Michael can't be tried for this, because there's so much evidence is going to be tampered with at this point in time. So that's why Michael was punching Chase, and that's why Brooklyn was so angry. And it was super sad because Brooklyn and Chase had just had a conversation with the attorney, Alexis, about adoption because Chase can't have kids.
Well, I figured that part out. Yeah.
Yes.
So they're trying to adopt.
So they're trying to adopt, and it's already going to be a little odd that he went from detective to patrolman. And she's like, man, first of all, I don't know if they'll even give us a kid if you keep doing all this crazy stuff. But on top of that, I'm not bringing a kid into this relationship if you're going to continue being ridiculous, because that's not a stable home for a baby, and I don't want to do that.
Well, he did say that he was going to like slow down with this stuff.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. He's been being a jerk for way too long. He's lucky that she hasn't got way more angry before this.
Well, maybe she feels like he's gonna change.
I can tell her that doesn't happen, but
Okay.
I guess she won't listen to me.
Probably not. So then we ended Monday though with some stuff that was just wow.
Go ahead.
So Sonny's talking to was it the district attorney, Justine? Is that her title?
Justine Turner, yeah.
Yeah, who is involved with this whole case, right? With Sonny's son.
Right.
Michael.
Yep.
Yep. And so they're having this conversation, which already feels like major conflict of interest here. Like, why is she confiding in him and telling him anything whenever that's his son? And then at the end, they leave the bar, and he kisses her, and she's just like, I mean, at that point, it seemed like she was okay with that kiss. Obviously, Tuesday came around, and she smacked him and told him that can't happen again. I'm like, dang, you smacking the mob boss in the face? this girl's, whew, she ain't playing. But I just was like, what? So many people are intertwined in this show.
Yep.
And then they do this off the wall stuff. You got comas, you've got mob bosses kissing the police. Craziness. I
District attorney, but yeah.
District attorney, you know what I mean. But I love how like they both go back to their own separate people on Tuesday. Like Justine goes back and talks to Jordan, and Sonny goes back and talks to that attorney guy, Rick.
Rick is his brother.
That's his brother. Is he an attorney though too?
He is an attorney.
Okay, but and they both are like discussing about how we shouldn't have did this, we shouldn't have do that, but maybe we should keep doing this so that we could like stay in the know as to what the other one's doing. It's like, man, there's a lot of shady stuff going on in Port Charles. I can see why you girls have stuff going on every week to talk about. Madness.
So, the only thing that you're missing there, just because from Monday, was first Rick was talking to Alexis, who is his ex-wife, about how he is really appreciating family now and he wants to spend more time with his family and have connection with his family.
Okay.
Him and Sonny are brothers, but they didn't grow up together and they hated each other for the longest time. So much so that Alexis has one kid to Sonny and one kid to Rick because they were constantly in competition with each other and trying to have what the other one had.
Well, they both got that.
So, seeing Sonny call Rick, and like we saw, so Rick comes in and he's like, okay, Sonny, tell me, like, what are the charges? What do I need to do to have them dropped? Give me your side of the story. Like, this is urgent. Let's get this together. And Sonny's like, whoa, Rick, I never said there was charges being brought. Like, what are you talking about? Calm down. And Rick's like, well, if you called me, then it has to be something crazy going on. You know, what do you need to talk about? And then Sonny just wants to vent about how, is it a bad idea to kiss the district attorney? And Rick's like, man, I saw you guys had chemistry, but I told you it was a bad idea. What are you doing kissing her? And they talk through all of that. So yeah, that's why Wyatt being Rick was a big deal. Was they're building their family together some.
Was there anything else that I missed till Monday?
That was all that I have on my notes for Monday.
So then Tuesday, obviously, we just discussed the Sonny and Justine kiss and how they both went to their own separate people to confide in, and they both were like, "Oh, okay, well, don't do that again, but maybe you should, so you can stay in cahoots with what's going on." And that's what else was there? There was some more stuff with Nathan.
So that was whenever we saw Nathan meet with Lulu at the Brown Dog the first time that he was like, she said to him, oh, I'm sure you're back with Maxie now, so we just need to stay away from each other so that our feelings can dwindle. And he was like, no, actually, I'm not with Maxie. She said she's going to stay with Spinelli. And so that was whenever he first kind of like propositioned her for a relationship. And she was like, oh, I have to think about it. And then there was a lot of Jason stuff on Tuesday. So we saw Brennan, who's the head of the WSB in Port Charles, talking to Jason, which is odd because obviously Jason works for Sonny the mob guy. So why is he talking to WSB? But it's because the head of the WSB that's over top of Brennan, Column, he is playing both sides. So he's head of the WSB, but at the same time, he's working with Sidwell to do all the bad stuff to Anna, and he's in on what they're doing to Britt, and Jason cares about Britt.
Yeah.
And so he is trying to figure it all out. So Brennan, yeah, it was kind of shocking that Brennan was talking to Jason like they were on the same side and was like, hey, listen, so Colum has some questions for you. He's going to be here in a minute, but you don't need to tell him anything because you can't trust him. And so then Colum came in and just that was like, okay, Jason, so let me talk to you about what's going on with Britt and why she was here and this and that. And Jason was like, yeah, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, he straight up lied to him.
He's like, I don't know what else you want. We had a relationship. I went to see her whenever she was at the Five Poppies, then she came home and now she's busy with her work, so I don't see her, and that was it.
That was also whenever at least I got to see Lucas.
Yes.
And Lucas was talking to Britt about how she's being extorted by Sidwell.
Yes.
And that Britt was telling Lucas, you should not be involved in this, to stay out of this. But it doesn't seem like Lucas really gives a hoot about what Britt's going to say there. Because he wants to be involved. I don't know if that's because he wants to also work with trying to help get Marco out of it.
Probably. His last relationship was bad, so it's taken him time to start a new relationship. So the fact that he's with Marco and living with Marco is a big deal. So I'm sure he doesn't want to walk away from that. And then he is just a good person at heart. Like, him and Britt have issues because of stuff that happened in his last relationship. And he isn't pretending to be her friend, but at the same time doesn't want her to die from not getting her medication. But I loved whenever he was like, well, I know this is true because I asked Marco about it. And she was like, well, then Marco's an idiot because he absolutely should have not confirmed anything to you. He's just putting you in danger. You need to drop it. And he continues to say, no, he wants to help. And then later in the week, she has some great idea about how she's gonna take down Pascal because she doesn't think that she can take down Sidwell or Marco. And he's just like, yeah, can you not be trying to drug people? Like, put that away, and I'm gonna find the medication for you, and then we'll be able to do the reverse engineering.
Yep. I don't have too much else from Tuesday.
No, that was all for Tuesday.
Wednesday was the love scene.
Wednesday was the love scene. Emma came home.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. It was very sweet. I loved the fact that.
Well, he was just like telling her, like, I'm ready to move with you. Like, I don't even care anymore. And she was just like, you could see she was like, well, that's not why I'm here. I'm here to tell you I'm here to stay with you.
Right. And he had been looking at airplane tickets like right before she got home. And it was just so cute to see his little sad puppy dog face that he was missing her so bad.
Wasn't.
It was. They're a cute little young couple.
My man needs to find a shirt, though. He was shirtless in half the episode.
I mean, I don't think that's a problem for most people. He's a little too young for me to be looking at like that, but they're trying to hook the younger viewers.
Well, that should do it.
Our 19 and 23-year-old would not be offended by seeing that boy walk around without his shirt on.
All right.
So.
Yeah, we can keep moving. I'm trying to think of other things. Tuesday, we got to see. There was a Carly sighting.
Yep.
Carly and Valentine.
Yes.
We're talking about how Lucas and Britt are kind of both being in danger, messing around here with this Sidwell character. But I don't know. Like, Carly and Valentine just both seem like snaky to me.
So they are odd because Carly is very manipulative whenever she wants something. She's mad because she's dating Brennan, the head of the WSB in Port Charles.
Okay.
And he got her daughter Jocelyn involved in the WSB. She's a WSB agent without ever saying anything to Carly. And so, like, man, you're my man, and you're putting my daughter in danger by having her be an agent. What is wrong with you? So she was being loyal to him, and then once she realized that he put her daughter in danger, now she's trying to figure out how she can take him down. And Valentine wants to take Brennan down because Brennan is who had him put in jail. Valentine's on the run right now. That's why he's staying at Carly's house.
Okay.
Because no one will look for him at Carly's house since Carly is Brennan's girlfriend. So they're trying to figure out how they can help everybody in this situation that's the good guys without getting Valentine caught and without Brennan realizing that Carly is on to the fact that he put Jocelyn in this position. So we saw Jocelyn earlier in the week whenever she was talking to Gio before Emma came home. That was the blonde girl that was like, here's the book. Showed him the book of that look, the lady on the front looks like Anna. So yeah. So that's why Carly's in the middle of all this also.
What else Wednesday? That's whenever Jason and Britt were also talking about that column guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Britt's like, she's obviously nervous and scared because she doesn't know what her future is. I mean, they're keeping her pretty much at bay every day with this medicine that she needs.
Yep.
But Jason's all, I'll protect you no matter what. Side story. Whenever me and you first started dating again, and I remember watching GH with you, that's whenever they were starting to have like their get back together. Wasn't Jason on the run? Isn't that whenever he got injured and she like took him in at the cabin and was taking care of him?
That sounds right. Yeah. I mean, Jason gets injured all the time, and people have to.
Well, he does a lot. He does a lot of crazy things.
But I do think that was around the same time. I wouldn't swear to it.
I just think it's like funny. It's like full circle. Like they're still having.
Well, she was dead for a while, and then she came back from the dead.
Of course she did. Of course she did. I didn't know that. I didn't know she was dead too.
Yes. So that's another point for why
I want to move to Port Charles so I could die and just come right back.
So when you don't come right back, you might be gone for years. Like
that's
Nathan.
better than being dead forever. Come on now.
That's why people are supposing that perhaps Faison is alive, is because Nathan, who was dead for 7 years and came back to life, and Britt, who was dead for years
and
came back to life. No, Jason's not part of that storyline. Both Britt and Nathan are Faison's children.
But Jason was dead, right?
He was dead
by rubble.
He was dead. He's been dead multiple times, but that had nothing to do with Faison. I'm telling you, I'm making you understand why
he can hold out hope then.
Right. Because they both came back. So that's why that's extra confusing. For finishing off Wednesday, the only other stuff was Lucas also warned Ava against Sidwell. Ava is Lucas's aunt, and she is an art dealer, and she is making a boatload of money off of Sidwell decorating Windermere, but everyone knows that he is sketchy, and so especially with this new information that Lucas has, he really doesn't want his aunt hanging out with him. But she thinks that the only reason that he suddenly doesn't like Sidwell is because Carly has been talking smack on Sidwell. And so that is why she's not listening to Lucas. She's like, listen, if you can keep dating Marco, then I can keep getting money off of Sidwell, making all this commission and stuff. So until it's bad enough that you're cutting ties with Marco, don't talk to me about it. But he was trying to keep her safe. And then we saw Molly and Cody talking about her book. That was like a kind of a one-off that if you hadn't been watching, probably didn't make much sense. But Molly wrote a book. She's written a few other books that have been published. She wrote a book recently, and she was writing it about, it's like a cowboy type of situation, and so Cody was her inspiration for it, but she makes Cody out to sound really stupid in the first couple chapters, and so he originally had only read the first couple chapters, and then he got mad and was like, so you just think I'm an idiot and I can't hold a job and I don't know this and I don't know that and like all these horrible things. But if you read the whole book, then you got to see how he like progressed in her eyes and she fell in love with him and whatever. So for him to have a better understanding of just literature in general, he has joined a book club, and that's why she was like, oh my gosh, you read Pride and Prejudice, that's so sweet. And he was telling her all about the women in his book club and how they're going to read her book next and whatever. And so they had been like on the outs, so that was them making up. And then he went to leave and she was like, Cody, wait, and she got up and kissed him. And then that's whenever they flashed to the love scene between Gio and Emma, and for a second it was like, wait, is that Molly and Cody? But it wasn't. It was Gio and Emma. And then another one-off, we saw Dante go to Elizabeth and ask what she thought about who shot Drew, and could Michael have planted the gun, or did she think that Willow had actually stolen the gun, or what did she think? And she was like, I honestly have no idea. All I can tell you is, Michael could have had opportunity, but so could Willow of, and I'm not really sure what's going on. So that was kind of a weird pairing that I really hope does not mean that they're trying to pair them together, because no, no. Liz, she does need a new love interest, but it doesn't need to be Dante. Like, that's okay. We don't need to. Dante had already dated Sam, and so had Lucky dated Sam. We don't need to throw Liz with all of Sam's past lovers. Like, no, thank you. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But that rounded out Wednesday.
Okay.
What you got for Thursday?
Well, that's whenever Sidwell visited Drew in the hospital.
At his house?
Oh yeah, that's at the house. Sorry, I can't tell because the poor man is like incapacitated. He's just basically all he can do is blink.
He blinked SOS. And Sidwell was like,
Yeah, he's like, no,
"Dude."
wrong person. Wrong person. I'm in on this too, buddy. I'm been the one who's been supplying this. And then nothing Drew can do at that point. Drew's probably like, oh crap. I was hoping for help. I went to the guy that's keeping me locked down. And that scene is just weird. I feel bad for Drew.
I mean, it's supposed to make you feel bad for Drew, but Drew's a horrible person, so I don't feel bad for Drew.
Okay, well, since I don't really know that Drew's a horrible person, I feel bad for Drew.
Okay, so Drew is married to Willow. Willow was married to Michael. Michael is Drew's nephew.
Okay, so everybody is married and dies and has comas, but like that dude was
After your nephew's wife?
No, no.
Right, so he's a scumbag.
But that's not the first time this has happened. Okay, you're right. He is a scum. I'm not saying he's not a scum. I'm not going to sit here and defend that. I'm just going to say that the man had to sit there and watch Willow, who's been like shooting him up with this drug to make him all zonked out, watch her get that title at the press conference.
Yeah, that was great. Sidwell's like, here, watch this. And she's standing there like, thank you so much for all your well wishes.
So you like Willow?
I like Willow being bad. Yeah. I don't like Willow because Willow still isn't thinking for herself. She did what she did to Drew because Sidwell was like, hey, why don't you do this? And she's doing what she's doing as far as becoming Congresswoman because that's what Sidwell said. I don't know how you really fight against Sidwell, but I don't respect the fact that she's still not thinking for herself. But I do love that she's like, no, Drew, here, you suffer some.
Okay, well, I don't know enough about Drew, but Drew just looks like he's having a rough go right now. Like everybody's just beating this man down. Didn't know that he had it coming to him. What else? Jason talked to Sonny about how dangerous whatever that guy is, call him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I remember right, Jason was trying to I guess he's trying to get Sonny to do something or have him do something to try to stop Cullum. Does that sound about right?
So they're trying to figure out exactly how Cullum is connected to Sidwell and what they can do because a few months ago Sonny had to have surgery, and when he came out of surgery, someone tried to kill him. And they have figured out that attempted murder of Sonny has to do with Cullum and Sidwell. And then also, Michael was away from Willow for months on end because he had really bad burns and he had to go to a burn center. And the reason that he was burned was because they had attacked Sonny's penthouse, trying to burn Sonny up, but instead Michael got burned.
I remember you watching that.
Yes. So Sonny and Jason are still just trying to make sense of who all is connected to who, how deeply, and what they can do about it. Because they know that Anna's playing a part in this somehow, where they're manipulating her to make her think that Faison is alive, even though Faison shouldn't be alive because Jason shot him. And then they're trying to figure out how they can help Britt because Jason cares about Britt and she needs her medicine, but she doesn't want to be under their thumb and all that stuff. So they're trying to figure out how they can help everyone without getting themselves killed.
Got it.
See, it all makes sense. I don't know why you're confused.
Yeah, okay.
The only other thing for Thursday that I made a note of was Isaiah visited Trina, and that was the dude that knocked on the door of Trina's apartment, and she opened the door and was like, "What's wrong with my mom?" And he was like, "Nothing." And she said, "Okay, well, then we don't have anything else to talk about," and went to slam the door in his face. And he was like, "No, wait, we have to have a conversation." So they sat down and talked, and he did kind of call her out on her stuff and was like, "You're trying to punish your mom for all her mistakes, but you're acting like your dad didn't do anything wrong. And it's not fair to want your mom to be alone forever whenever your dad's already moved on." And he kind of had a point, but he kind of didn't have a point because Trina's mom was married to this guy Taggart, and then she had an affair with Curtis and got pregnant and passed Trina off as Taggart's baby whenever really she was Curtis's. And so then
What the heck?
all these years later, she's married to Curtis and she cheats on Curtis with Isaiah. She ends up pregnant, and they just did the paternity test a few weeks ago, like a week ago, and it came back that it's Curtis's baby. And so that's why
Man, Curtis.
so that's why Trina was like, "So the only difference this time is that my mom's not trying to pass the baby off as somebody else's. She's actually telling my dad that it is his baby." And so that's why she was angry about all that. But I don't think that Trina's wrong for her feelings, but at the same time, it is her mom and she's going to want a relationship with this baby. So it makes sense that she needs to come to grips with it. So that's why Isaiah was trying to help her see.
Okay. I did have some notes on that, but I didn't understand that story that much at all.
Yeah.
And that was like the only time I remember them really going there in the whole week.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you have anything else for Thursday?
Nothing else for Thursday that had my attention.
So Friday, some of the big stuff there was around Maxie. Because
Uh-huh.
Maxie comes back to Deception.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember the lady's name that she was talking to. Lucy. And so Lucy's obviously keeping some information from her right off the jump, and Maxie calls her out on it to find out that I guess Deception's in a really bad spot because whenever Lucy had her incident or her fall, whatever we want to call it, a Maxie, I'm sorry,
That's okay.
had her incident or her fall, it like went public and went viral, and well, everybody's kind of like, I guess you can't fall down and have a seizure or something, and everybody now hates you. Like I would think in most places people are like, oh, that poor girl, let's help her out, and nope, and poor Charles, we're done with you.
Hold on, I have to give you a little more information so it makes sense to you.
Well, that's all they did is show a picture of her laying on the floor. And it's like, oh man, this was really bad. Like, yeah, it does look bad. Like, you should be concerned about her well-being, not this company's terrible.
So
the woman's stressed.
So Maxie was in charge of all of the shipping and who they dealt with and all of that stuff. Okay. So Sidwell wanted to be in charge of all that stuff so that he could ship whatever bad product he's shipping using their company name. So he had come to them before and been like, "Here, Maxie, let me help. I'll take over." And Maxie was like, "Absolutely not. I don't trust you. You're a horrible person. I'm not letting you have access to this." So Sidwell, in order to gain access to all of that, poisoned the face cream. So Deception's a cosmetic company.
I get that.
So they were on like equivalent of QVC. It's called Home and Heart. They were on the show promoting their products, and Maxie put some of the cream on her face, and that's whenever she passed out. So the reason that their numbers declined was because people were like, I don't want to put that stuff on my face if it's going to make me have a heart attack.
They didn't say that.
They did
not say that. So all I got is there's this poor woman on the floor, and everyone's like, that company's terrible. We're not supporting them.
Right.
Okay.
So,
well, that's important information.
Yes. And it's not your fault you didn't know that because it happened months and months ago. That's what put her in the coma. She had a heart attack and then went into coma. So,
well, yeah, poison will do that to you probably.
Yeah, and Maxie already had a heart condition previously. So, absolutely. So, now that Maxie is back, she is saying, okay, you guys had Sidwell help us temporarily. Great. Now we can get Sidwell out. And that's whenever she calls Sidwell in for the meeting. And he drops the bomb that no, actually, they let him sign a 5-year contract that he would be in charge of all of this. And she knows that that's bad news. And so that's why whenever he went to leave, she was like, this conversation's not over. And that's why it was a cliffhanger, was because we know that he poisoned Maxie's face cream, but Maxie doesn't know that. And so, like, Maxie, you're threatening this guy, like, oh, this conversation's not over, but you don't know. Exactly. So that's why it was like, oh no, Maxie, please be careful.
Okay.
Makes sense?
It does now, but I just thought everybody hated this woman because she had a medical condition. Like, is this a hospital show?
No.
What else was there? Oh, we had Willow. Willow had her little sit-down interview with Lulu while my buddy Nathan's over there talking to his mom about how things didn't go well. She stormed off. But, man, I know you don't like Nina. And I can see why. She's answering every question that's coming to Willow. Like, we this, we that. Like, she's French. What is going on there? What is going on there? I clearly Nina has some motive here to be using Willow's power.
I don't think that she wants to use Willow's power. It's more that she doesn't want to let Willow look stupid because she knows that Sidwell is manipulating the situation also. And so whenever Lulu was asking, this was the first interview that Willow was doing after becoming Congresswoman, or after the announcement that she would be Congresswoman. And so Lulu's asking her questions like, are you going to be on board with the same committees that your husband was on? Are you going to ask for money to be allocated to the same things that your husband was choosing? You know, what are you going to go to? And Willow had no idea. She was clueless. She has no idea what she stands for. She has no idea what she's doing. And Lulu's like, well, did your husband ever talk to you about these things? And she's like, yeah, but she still didn't have a good answer. So Nina had helped Drew become congressman, so she knew the stuff that he said that he stood for. I don't know that he actually stood for anything because he never actually went to DC and did anything, but whatever. The stuff that on paper, at least, he said he cared about. So that's why Nina interjected and was like, she should have said, Willow's going to put money here, here, and here, or Drew has advised her to put money here, here, and here, something to make it sound like she wasn't actually running part of it. Because then Lulu came back and was like, so Nina, you're like invested in this. Are you part of it? And that's whenever Nina got up and walked away. And she ended up having a conversation with Nathan then, because Nathan had got up and walked away, and then Obrecht had left, and then Nathan came back in and was like, oh, is the coast clear? And so he told Nina all about how Obrecht was upset because he wasn't getting back together with Maxie, and he, wasn't sure what to do. And she was like, oh, so now that leaves the door open for Lulu. And then that's whenever we saw him approach Lulu after the interview with Willow.
Yeah.
To say, oh, now that you've had a few days, do you think that we could be together? And she's like, oh, yeah, sure.
Someone's going to have to tell Maxie, though.
Right. And then, when Obrecht left, where she went was to the hospital to talk to Nathan's sister and be like, hey, Britt, do you think that you can help me get Nathan under control? And Britt was like, no, he has a right to be with whoever he wants to be with. And maybe he has feelings for Lulu that are true. And then she starts talking about how maybe they bring out the best in each other. And she has this far off look on her face. And Obrecht totally calls her out and is like, okay, so thanks for telling me about you and Jason, but I was actually talking about your brother. So do you want to come back to this conversation? And Britt denies that her and Jason are in love and they're just helping each other out or whatever. But
baloney.
Yeah, they're always back and forth. She never wants to admit what's actually going on. So
That's when Britt also well, that was later in the episode when Lucas came into the room and Britt has devised this plan as to how she's going to be able to not be dependent on Sidwell or his goons giving her this
right,
cure, or not cure, but this medicine to keep her Huntington's disease from getting bad,
right.
where she's gonna like hit him up with some, I had to write it down, sodium pentothal. I'm like, what the heck is that?
You wanted to say Booperall, didn't
I
you?
really did want to say Booperall, but it was not Booperall.
For anyone who doesn't know, whenever your cats are sick, I'm sure it's other animals too, but I've told you guys about how one of our cats was sick a few weeks ago. The medicine that they gave to control the pain is called Booperall. And so it was like a joke around our house because we had just these random syringes in a container of, oh, are you not feeling well? Here's some Boop for you. Let me give you some Booperall. So I could tell as you were trying to think of the name, you wanted so bad to be like, she's just going to inject him with some Booperall.
I mean, that would rock him, but it's not going to be the truth serum that I guess the sodium pentothal is supposed to be. But I mean, what do you really think? Like, that just seems like such a
I
bad
don't think it's
idea.
truth serum. I think it's going to knock, I think it was to knock him out. She was saying he was going to get knocked out and then she could take the,
I Googled
like
it.
that day.
I Googled
Oh,
it.
you
It's,
Google?
of course I
Oh,
did.
you're going to be Shannon now. Go ahead.
Well, I just was curious what it did. I'm like, oh, is this a real thing?
I
Like,
have compared.
like Huntington's disease.
I have
It's
compared.
not a real thing.
It is a real thing.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then I looked up something else wrong. Anyways, don't take my. Never. But I just don't understand how Britt thinks this is going to be a good idea. And Lucas was like, "No, you can't do this."
Right.
She's adamant. Looks like she's going to try.
Well, so that brings us to the conversation that Sidwell and Marco were having, that Britt needs to be done with what she's developing for them by May or June. And Marco says, well, what happens if she's not done?
Or it doesn't
And
work.
or it doesn't work, which often happens with first runs. And Sidwell says, well, it better because her life depends on it. And so that's what she's saying to Lucas is, I have to get this done. I have to figure out what my medicine is because once it comes May or June, they're going to have no use for me and who knows what they're going to do. So she's not wrong, but I do think she should give Lucas a little more time.
Well, Lucas did make an effort, at least with Marco at the end of the episode. He
Yes.
goes and talks to Marco.
Yep.
And pretty much tells Marco, like, look, like, I need your help to stop this from happening. And it sounds like Marco is going to, even though clearly Marco knows, like, this could be bad for all three of them.
Right. At first, he was like, no, you just have to let it go. And Lucas says, well, you told me you wanted me to stay here with you. And so you need to listen to what I need in order to continue this relationship. And that is for us to help Britt. And so by the end of their conversation, Marco is like, okay, I will try to get a vial of this, but just know that it could cost me, you, and Britt our lives because once Colin realizes that there's a dose missing, it's not going to be good for any of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure how he's going to get it. I mean, he has access to it, but they never show us. Does he go to like a medicine cabinet that has 20 doses, or is there just one dose laid out that he takes to Britt to administer? So I'm not sure how that's all going to play out.
I didn't have anything else.
Nothing else. So after Trina had talked to Isaiah. She then went to Portia, and they made up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she said that Isaiah like made her see things differently, and Portia was like, "Yeah, well, he is going to be sticking around. I really care about him, and he really cares about me." And Trina was like, "Well, if you guys really feel that way about each other, then I will accept your relationship, but I'm not going to love him or like have a relationship with him instantly. It's going to take time." And then right at that moment, the baby kicks. So she gets to feel the baby move, and now it's like, oh, everything's
We're all
wonderful
good.
again. Yeah, I can't stand Portia because I'm so tired of her making Trina act like the mother whenever Portia is definitely a grown woman. She shouldn't be doing that to her her daughter. And then the only other thing was we saw one more snippet of Willow talking to Lulu after Nina had got up, and Lulu was like, "So how are you really feeling? Like, what are you thinking?" And she went on about how she feels like this is her chance to really be her own woman, and she was always under Michael's thumb and everyone else's, and so she is going to forge a new beginning for her and her kids. Maybe she was talking to Nina again at that point, because Nina asked, "Well, are you going to go for more custody?" And she said,
That's right.
"No, yeah, I guess she started talking to Lulu like with her guard down some, and then Lulu got up to go talk to Nathan. So she was talking to Nina again. But she said to Nina, "No, I'm not going to go for more custody. I just want to know that I have, this in my back pocket, that I'm not just some little woman that has to listen to whatever Michael says. I am Congresswoman Willow," which is just annoying. Eye roll. But all right, I think we covered everything or almost everything. If not, then I'm sure it'll be re-mentioned next week, and I'll bring it up then. So that takes us into reality check.
Reality check.
Oh boy, I'm letting you go first.
It is kind of pressure to think of something exciting. I have it easy because today that we're recording, the 27th, is my birthday. And so I have been enjoying. Thank you. I have been enjoying the birthday week build up because Ryan has been spoiling me each day with something little like my favorite candy bar or some scratch tickets or like a yummy treat from someplace. And then today for my birthday, we went out to dinner with Matt and his girlfriend and had yummy dinner together. And then we went back to his house and they gave me their present and they got me this gift certificate to one of those places that like massages your scalp and does like a deep clean of your scalp and your hair and all that stuff. It's supposed to be like major pampering. I've never been to one, but they just opened one up by us. So that was what they gave me for my birthday. And then Sunday we're going to celebrate with my mom and my siblings and all the rest of the kids and everyone else. So it has been a lovely birthday week. Thank you very much, Ryan, for all the spoiling that you have done.
You're
It
welcome.
should be birthday week more often. Birthday month, birthday year, every day. I deserve presents.
Okay. Slow your roll.
So, how about you?
Well, apart from the spoiling that I have done for you, last weekend, I know you and Shannon recorded while Malin was at her dance competition.
Right, I got to talk about Friday's result,
Fridays.
not the weekends.
So, I mean, that was pretty exciting for me, getting to watch Madeline perform, and really kick some butt. I mean, she just continues to do better and better every event. So that was really exciting. I honestly really don't mind going to Ohio.
Right, it was a nice drive. It was like an easy drive.
Yeah, a very easy drive. So that was pretty good. My week has been relatively chill. Other than that, I mean, the typical working and spoiling of you. And this was exciting.
You're feeling the pressure, so I appreciate you filling in for Shannon.
I'm glad I could. I hope I did adequate enough for all your listeners.
You did. I think you did fine. I will definitely get
I had to
feedback.
take notes. I had to take notes. So many names, so many stories.
It is a little confusing, but it was a good week. Shan's gonna be sad that she missed this week, actually, of like
Because of the Geo.
of the Geo and Emma and Brooklyn finally like giving it to Chase. And as much as I don't like Trina, seeing that finally come to a head of them working stuff out, and then of course the Willow stuff, because last week it was all focused on the fact that um oh, that's what we didn't talk about. That is what I forgot real quick. Alexis talked to Laura and was like, "What the heck? You pulled the rug out from under me. You were endorsing me for this, and then all of a sudden you change your mind." And Laura couldn't explain to her, but it turned out, I can't believe you forgot this part, because it was creepy guy that went to Laura.
Sorry. There's a lot of creepiness that seemed to be going
Ezra.
around.
Ezra is the creepy guy. Ezra went to Laura and was like, "Hey, listen, so Sidwell says you have to have Willow run as Congresswoman. That's who you're appointing." And Laura gave pushback because she wanted it to have been Alexis. And Alexis, couldn't understand why it was that Laura suddenly changed her mind. The press conference got moved up. It was announced, and there was nothing she could do about it. So Laura visited her afterwards and apologized the best that she could, but she couldn't tell Alexis why she had to listen to Sidwell. So that was that. But
That spilled into our reality check.
it did.
I missed that.
It did. I didn't I made a note of Alexis being angry with Laura, but it was on my other sheet, so I missed it there. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. Glad that it just popped into my head, because I'm like, Brian made such a big deal about creepy guy the other week. I can't believe that didn't end up in his notes. So anyway, so yeah, with that recaps everything. I think that we're good. So join us on Thursday as we do a fan spotlight. It'll be me and Shan back again. Fan spotlight with Melanie San Milan. And she was really interesting. She has done some acting herself, not on GH, but she knows a lot of people in the industry and people who have done stuff on GH. And so it was neat to hear just her thoughts on different things, more from the past. She hasn't watched in a while, but she has some good insight. So make sure that you tune in on Thursday then.
And have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to peer54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Peer 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.